Welcome back to AFTV, everyone. Feels like a while since we've done this. That's because it's been 10 days since we beat Palace 5-0, but it's time to get back into some Premier League action. Of course, the early exit in the FA Cup, man, we didn't play on the weekend, but it's a midweek round of Premier League games, and we're away at Forest. So in the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to find out the starting 11. Let's predict, talk a little bit about what we want to see, and then react to it in 30 minutes time with all of you. Get your comments in as well, and of course, download the AFTV Plus app so you can have your say at full time, win, lose or draw. And now, welcome to the panel. Hey everyone, how are we all doing?
All good.
Yeah. Good. Christian, Tanvi joining us as well, and you all know Turkish and Laurie, of course. Of course, we all know Tanvi and Christian, been here many times, but you're probably a bit bored of seeing these two. I don't know, are they bored of seeing you Turkish? Or?
No, not too sure. Put a poll up.
No? Should we get a poll up?
Are you bored of his face?
Bored of Turkish? Bored of Turkish? Yes, no? Oh.
No, never. How are you, man?
No. Yeah, I'm alright, you know. I'm not looking forward to this one, you know. I don't know what it is.
I know what you mean. James, you were saying as well. Kind of doesn't feel like
go straight into Liverpool, like, rather than this.
It's like a hurdle, but it's like a necessary hurdle.
Yeah. We should win though. We should.
I think the 10 days off. I think that's been like, we had the 3 defeats. We took 2 weeks. I think we all felt the team needed. They come out with a 5-0 win, and then look, that's a good result to sit on. But that was when we wanted momentum building, and now we have to sit on this for 10 days. Tanvi, your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like we had so much adrenaline after that Palace game, and then, like you said, it's been 10 days. But I do feel like we need to use today as a bit of a warm-up. Obviously, it's Forest. I'm expecting a win. I want us to have a good win, no injuries, go into Sunday feeling confident. But rather than it being like a hiccup or a hurdle, I think, we use it as a warm-up to really get ready for Sunday.
Yeah. Nuno Espirito Santo, though, Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's not a joke manager. You saw what he did at Wolves. Obviously, Spurs didn't go too well, but yeah, he's got them playing well. Obviously, they beat United in their, I think it was their last home game. And yeah, I don't see Crystal Palace for us as a bounce back. I think if we want to bounce back from 2 losses, you have to have 2 wins. So I think if we win today and beat Liverpool, obviously then we'll be 2 points behind them. I think that's kind of a bounce back, and it puts us back on track a little bit.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
But yeah, this game is important in terms of building momentum, putting those losses behind us.
Yeah, Laurie?
Yeah, I agree with Christian. Listen, man, this game today, there is no margin for error. And it is, I do agree with the rest of the panel, there is an element of potential banana skin in this game, even though we had that really good performance against Crystal Palace, 5-0, played really well, got the goals. But today, speaking for myself, I just want a win. If we get a scruffy 1-0 win, I'll take that, because, like I said, there's no margin for error. And I would go as far as to say, if we don't win today, probably our title chances are pretty much gone. In fact, I would go even further, say if we can't beat Forest away at this stage, we don't deserve to be title winners. We have to win today.
Yeah, I take your point about you lose 2, you need to then build a little bit of momentum to pull yourself back in it. And in a weird way, we're quite lucky with the fixture schedule, because there was a time, maybe a month ago, we were going, wow, Anfield trip, then we've got Liverpool in the Cup, and then we've got Liverpool soon after in the league. You're looking at 3 times against them in 7 games. You're thinking that maybe provided a real hurdle for Arsenal, but now we're seeing it as a real opportunity, because we need that direct game to try pull those points back. We start tonight though, and going into the Palace game, I felt I needed the performance as well as the win. I know a lot of people saying just get the win after a few defeats, get the win. I totally understood that. But for me, I needed the performance to suggest that the 2 weeks off has freshened the players up and they're ready to go. Tonight I feel differently, and that is just give me the 3 points, because I sort of think any trip in the Premier League, especially those kind of midweek evening games, they're fighting for their lives, Forest as well. There's sort of potential FFP things lingering there. They know every point counts, as it does for us, and I would just be happy coming out with a 1-0, a 2-1, whatever it looks like. I just want to get out of there. I don't know. Yeah.
I disagree. I mean, like, why would you just take a win when you can take a performance and a win? I feel like if we get a few early goals...
Because it's Forest.
I agree. But if we get a few early goals and we can afford to, rotate a little bit more, rest a few players before Sunday, I'd rather take that than like a 1-0 last-minute win.
Forest away's not easy,
Not saying it's easy, but I do think if we can get a performance in it too,
well, I mean, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
If Arsenal can go and flex in this game like they did away at Brentford last year, away at Fulham last year, away at Tottenham last year, wherever it might be, those first 20 minutes against West Ham where we started away games on fire, that'd be great. But I've just not seen
Anfield
Arsenal
away as well.
Which one?
We started Anfield away 2-0 up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly.
I don't think we've seen a big away performance this season yet. I mean, there's been good wins.
Yeah.
I think Everton away is a good win.
Yeah, yeah. I have
Kind of
that,
broke
yeah.
a curse. Palace away was a good win. Went down to 10 men. There hasn't been like a comprehensive full of Fulham away and Brentford away, like you said, that we can look back on last season and say we were so comfortable away from home. Like we can see these boys turning into men.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of gone back a little bit this season. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's been a.
Especially in light of some of their recent performances.
Yes. Yeah, that was probably the best scoreline. I'm trying to think of other away wins this season we can really point to.
Performance-wise, Everton was probably up there.
Yeah.
It was good.
All round,
Yeah.
nullifying opposition, creating chances. I'd say that's probably the best all round. But we've had big wins, yeah. I think
But I would
Bournemouth
slightly
was the one
disagree with you, Tambi, with respect, because I think that in the final analysis, it doesn't matter really. Actually, with goal difference, it could matter. But you know what I'm saying? The point is, if we get a win today and we keep the momentum going into the Liverpool game, to me, that's vital. We don't have to smash them 4-5-0. Just need to win. So then the game on Sunday now, we go into it with renewed optimism on the back of 2 wins. Obviously, previous to that, we had a couple of defeats on the bounce, so we just need to win.
Well, wins at Forest haven't come easily for us. Defeats, 4-2 defeat in 2018, 1-0 defeat in the Cup in 2022, and a defeat last season as well, 1-0. Yes, I did read them all off the screen there. But yeah, that's 3 defeats in a row there. And I think the time before that came in a Carabao Cup game, I think a 5-0 win. I think Oxlade-Chamberlain was amongst the goals.
Maybe that
but other than that, and that wasn't on the screen by the way. But yeah, we've struggled there. We've really struggled there.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of a curse. But yeah, like we were just saying, we beat Everton away, there was a bit of a curse. So in terms of what you guys are talking about, I think we need both tonight. I think we need a performance and we need to win the game. I think we need to build confidence going into Liverpool. If it's a scrappy game, you know, we scrape a 2-1 at the end, but we don't play that well, I don't think it necessarily breeds confidence going into Liverpool. Obviously, I'd take it. But I think a performance, get the win, go into Liverpool saying we're still here, we can still win this league. We're not kind of scraping through, you know, we're losing a couple games here, dropping a few points there. We need to literally like imprint ourselves and say like we're still hanging about.
Yeah, we've got Super Chats come in. Havertz Ballers has jinxed the whole result, so no point watching. He says, we're going to do this, which is the old famous Robbie quote from every road trip he does. And inevitably the result goes badly. But no, thank you for the Super Chat, man. Abdullah says, most scored versus most conceded from set plays. Team with stylistically the highest defensive line versus the team with the most goals from counter-attacks. Should be an interesting game. Do you know what's crazy, Abdullah? I couldn't tell you which one of those sets of stats we are. So I know we're the most scored from set pieces, so I guess you're saying Forest are the most conceded. Yeah. Cool. But are we statistically the defence with the highest line versus the... I can see Forest being the team with the most goals from counter-attacks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they have got good pace. Elanga, Hudson-Odoi, people like that.
Yeah, okay. Abdullah, just let us know in the comments.
The high line thing, you must be referring to us, because since Nuno's taken over, he's slightly changed the way they play. So they're a bit more defensively responsible.
I was going to say, there's no way Forest play with the highest line in the league. That would be crazy. Not in the Ange Postecoglou era.
And we rarely score counter-attack goals.
That's what I was going to say. It was a process of elimination there.
Process of elimination we've made our way through. Okay, well look, we talked about the general feeling around the game, but let's talk about the actual 11, because did you say there were some rumours? And there are rumours. I'll always tell you if there are rumours from people I genuinely kind of believe in terms of the Twitterverse and all that. But did you say there were some rumours around potential changes?
Yeah, I don't know what the rumours are, so I don't want to spread anything. But I know that in terms of injury worries, I think Rice is a doubt.
Yeah,
Gabriel is a doubt. Or they're both 50-50.
Yeah. We know Partey, apparently it's reported he's not ready to be part of the squad, so don't expect to see him. Look, Raya's going to keep his place, because if he was keeping his place when he was making mistakes, he's definitely going to keep his place when he's actually played well, and against Palace he did. So no one's changing their mind on the goalkeeper?
No, that's a given.
It's done, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that argument's becoming almost redundant.
Yeah, true. Unless he plays badly
unless
again.
Unless judges.
Unless the league judges. But like I said, unless he struggles to perform again, and then you go, well, Ramsdale's right there. But
But
was
then,
good
like you
at
said,
Palace.
even when he wasn't at his optimum, he was
Yeah.
still getting the nod. So
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's build the back four then. Again, does it sort of pick itself?
Injuries considered, yeah.
So if Gabriel's out, we'd expect it to be Kivior, right? Just a slot right in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zinchenko's the only available left back.
Yeah, that's right.
Saliba, and Tomiyasu's away on international duty, so Ben White's in.
Timber's not ready yet, so there you go. Okay, that's the back four. We're flying through this, guys. We're going to have to talk for another 29 minutes about something. Now, look, let's build this midfield then, because I actually think there's real debate here. Now, we were good against Palace. Credit to the team. Defensively, we denied them, had total control, created some chances as well. Not our fluid best, but plenty to admire there. Havertz was in that midfield three. I still think we looked like we had another key to another lock the minute Jorginho got on that pitch.
And Smith Rowe.
And then you got Smith Rowe as well. Although we don't know if Vieira's fit yet, but it wouldn't surprise if maybe he's sort of ready to go again. So, Christian, I'll start with you. Your midfield three and why?
Well, I was at the Palace game.
Yeah.
And I'm bored of saying it, but Havertz does not fit into this system. Like, everyone else is given... In that game, I think everyone else was at least a 7.5 out of 10. Havertz was probably a 6 at best. There was a couple nice flicks and link-ups. Apart from that, it doesn't really offer anything. I don't think the spaces he picks up really open up opponents. Like, I'm struggling now to see how he's fitting into the system.
Yeah.
Jorginho, when he came on, I thought did very well.
Yeah.
And Smith Rowe, I think he got maybe half an hour, 25 minutes.
Yep.
He got like enough time to kind of stamp an authority and show that he still should be part of this team.
Yep, totally agree.
And I think he did more in the 25 minutes than Havertz did in how long he was on. So, yeah, I don't think he will start, but I'd like to see him.
You don't think Smith Rowe will start?
Nah, I think
Fair
Havertz
enough.
will start.
Laurie, your midfielder, how are you feeling about it?
I kind of agree with Christian, to be honest. Although I do think Havertz will start today.
Yeah.
I know you're an advocate for Jorginho, and I do
I
see
wasn't till a year ago when we signed him.
No, listen, I mean, Jorginho, I have to put some respect on his name because when we signed him, I thought it was a temporary measure. And I've always associated with Jorginho being in the team that you've got something and you're trying to hold on to it, and then you bring him on to kind of stabilise things. So, you know, but yeah, he's done well. He's done well. You have to put some respect on his name.
Yeah.
The Havertz thing we've already discussed. He's still not imposing himself on the game as much as I would like to see. And it's interesting with Smith Rowe, we've all been banging on about his lack of minutes. And it's interesting that in the week leading up to that game, there's so much speculation around Smith Rowe, Palace and other teams being linked with him. The minute that happens, he gets 20, 25 minutes, we probably would not normally have got, because the manager was saying, we just need to give him more minutes. So, yeah, so in answer to your question, it will be the same midfield trio as what started the Palace
Fair
game,
enough.
I'm sure.
Max just letting us know in the comments, as are a few others, that Declan Rice and Gabriel are in the squad, and that has been confirmed by Charles Watts. So there we go. Gabriel and Rice will be a part of it. Big up production, who've got a poll going. What midfield are you choosing? Option 1, Havertz, Rice, Ødegaard. Jorginho, Rice, Ødegaard. Smith Rowe, Rice, Ødegaard. Or something else. So let us know what that something else is. There you go. Rice, Ødegaard, Jorginho is my vote with Smith Rowe, Rice, Ødegaard, 39% of the votes. The lowest is so far something else, but second lowest is Havertz, Rice, Ødegaard. Over to you, Turkish. Your midfield. How are you building, and what would you go with tonight? What do you want to see?
It's about time Smith Rowe gets the nod done with Christian. I think Arteta's talked him up for a few weeks now. Every week he's talked him up. We've expected to see him in some shape or form. I think he could have potentially started the Palace game home against a side in disarray. He didn't, but he came on and showed a little something. And it was nothing much, but when you compare to the player that's occupying that position most time this season, it was a bit refreshing to see an attacking midfielder that wants the ball, passes the ball, moves when he passes the ball. So for me, I think he deserves a chance. People might argue it's an away game, it's Forest, so it's very different circumstances. And maybe Jorginho, Rice, Ødegaard would be the better three for this game. But honestly, I don't see why we can't win the game with Emil Smith Rowe and Ødegaard in front of Rice.
Did he do enough, though, in those 20, 25 minutes?
It's not necessarily
to justify
did he
a start?
do enough. Has the person in his position done enough all season? So
I think he did more in that 25 minutes than
I agree.
Havertz did
And
in
it's
his
not
last
easy
4
to come
games.
on and do something in 20 minutes as well. Like he's come off the bench, he's expected to bring fresh legs, bring that energy, and he did it. So I'd like to see him have more minutes.
Did one
today.
really nice thing, Havertz, where Raya played that long ball and he took a touch with the outside of his foot to bring it down and then played in Jesus. I thought, oh, that was nice.
Is the bar low
And
though?
I think for any player, that was actually a really nice piece of skill in the past. But yes, ultimately, I remember that for a reason. Whereas other players probably pull off similar things and I'll go, well, there you go. Look, I agree. If I'm to be a bit pedantic about it, I'm being really pedantic about it, but I'd like to see, if it is Smith Rowe, Rice and Ødegaard, I wouldn't mind seeing Smith Rowe and Ødegaard swap. So that Ødegaard is kind of getting the ball in that left space, he's able to play more through balls. Can he link up with Martinelli, get someone out of him? Of course, Trossard we'll talk about in a sec as well. And Smith Rowe, like, especially in a world where Saka's always so doubled up on that touchline, can you get a runner just down that channel? A right footer suits that. I sometimes see Ødegaard make the run, and then he's got to come back inside on himself. And I just feel like Smith Rowe might be suited to that a little bit more, especially as he has that kind of more box-to-box running presence. So that's why, if we are going to see that midfield, I'd like to see it shape up in that way. They've done it before. I don't see why they can't do it again. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know if Arteta, he's been a bit reluctant.
Suits them more doing that. You'd
It
think.
feels more balanced, doesn't it?
I don't think they need to switch positions. I think Ødegaard can just be the right 8, and then Emma Smith Rowe's the 10.
I think
So
what
you think they
You could
yeah.
just switch it up, and then you have Emma Smith Rowe coming in on his favoured foot.
That's true.
Ødegaard still coming in on his favoured foot.
That's true. Yeah.
I think if you play Smith Rowe, you unlock Martinelli a bit more, because Smith Rowe kind of, when he plays in the left 8, like Xhaka was doing last season, where he drifts into that centre forward position, kind of occupies their right centre back and their right back, which obviously brings them out of position and lets Martinelli get in behind, which is what we saw in the last 20 minutes against Palace. Smith Rowe was occupying that position, drifting inside, and the space opened up, and then we saw Martinelli getting behind twice.
Yeah, I see things like this, right? So DJ Boy says, you're all tapped. Thank you. Are you guys really picking Smith Rowe to play in midfield? And the thing I'd say to this is,
not, by the way. I'm not.
no, fair enough. Listen, it's not on my starting 11, but I think the point I'd make is, why is that so crazy to say when Arteta's spoken glowingly of him? He was given the number 10 shirt. He's clearly not a winger. He's clearly not a false 9. We've seen all that. So the only position really for him is in midfield. So what are you saying, that we're crazy for wanting to play him? Well, why is he still here then? Why are we so reluctant to let him go? Why did we give him the number 10 shirt? Why, all these other questions. I know that a lot of that was done before the injury problems. I hear that, and context and things have changed since we tied him down. But my point is, he's still here, and Arsenal have been adamant they want to keep him. Arteta's been adamant that he is growing and improving. He's got an important part to play. So when are we going to see that? When are the words going to marry up with the actions in the 11?
We should know by now that the manager, let's be honest, he speaks with a forked tongue at times, man, because...
You think he lies?
Yeah, basically he does. He does.
Which I can understand.
He's
But-
economical with the truth. I mean, as I said, it was kind of more than a coincidence that the minute that everyone started clamouring for Emil Smith Rowe to get minutes, and he was being linked with the likes of Palace and 1 and 2 others, the manager himself said, all we need, I think I'm quoting him directly, we just need to give him more minutes. Then he comes on in that Palace game for, let's be honest, a longer period of time than most subs get under Arteta.
We were
'Cause
also
Arteta-
3-0 up in that game. If it was 1-0 or 0-0,
Yeah.
I don't know if he would have got the minutes.
So I'm not, when he sent a lot of mixed signals, man, so I'm not buying
He
into
does.
that.
Yeah, it's true. I think, I don't really understand the comment. Like, for me, Smith Rowe should still be a big part of this squad. In my head, and from what we've heard from Arteta, the reason he hasn't is because injuries, and he hasn't been back to the fitness and the level that he was before
And
the
he
injuries.
keeps hinting that he's like almost coaching Smith Rowe into it. Like, I don't know how to explain, like the comments, they feel like there's a lot of like, he's getting there, but I don't think getting there is necessarily fitness. I think it's understanding the role and what he needs from that position. But maybe I'm reading too much into it.
But I feel like sometimes you've got to just push them into it rather than like take your time coaching him to get there, because you only learn when you get the minutes, right? So.
Yeah, we'll know no experience is going, like no training pitch experience is going to replicate the on the pitch stuff where there's an actual other team trying to stop you. So, yeah.
And if we're talking about tapped comments, I honestly think that saying I want Havertz to start is one of the most tapped comments you can make right now. So I just don't know the alternatives that this guy is on about. If it's tapped to say you want Emil Smith Rowe to start, is it not tapped to say you want Havertz to start? Because it must be.
And if Havertz was playing well and he was where we expect him to be, it would be a very different conversation. So,
Is it me, but has he become the most talked about player at Arsenal in recent
When you're the
years?
highest, he's the highest paid player at the club.
It's funny, even in the gym, I was in the
I
gym
think that's
today
pretty
and
much
somebody
confirmed
actually
as well.
stopped me
But he's the highest paid
and
player.
was debating me about it.
Yeah.
He needs to hold that then, because you're not the highest paid football
By the
player
way-
at a big football club, and you don't hold smoke if you're not delivering.
You know what I said earlier about, you know, if there are people who I believe when it comes to the ITKs this world who have been, you know, what's the word, reliable and got things right, you know, then I will be happy to come here and give credit and say the likes of Team News and Tix, for example, just tweeted the number 10 with a smiley face. We all know what that means. And Mo is always spot on with stuff. So he was just quote tweeting what he was saying about Smith Rowe playing brilliantly in training out in Dubai with just a GIF or GIF?
GIF.
GIF.
GIF?
GIF would be
It's a
GIF.
generational divide.
It's GIF, 100%.
It's GIF.
100% it's GIF.
Can we put a poll?
I don't know.
GIF
You
or
only-
GIF?
No, you only listen to these. Don't put a poll up. This guy said we're tapped for saying Emma Smith Rowe to start. Imagine he votes.
Anyway, they're all
Either
suggesting
way.
that Smith Rowe's going to start. So there we go. So it's not crazy to suggest it, because clearly Arteta's seeing it himself. Just very quickly, we've got
Do
Super
you
Chat.
say Garaf? Garaf?
Do you say gift?
What?
For gift.
That was good. I
That was
mean,
a good one.
that's good for both of you, to be
But
fair.
the
It is good from
but
both.
the T after changes it though.
Yeah. Does it?
Maybe it's
Yeah, the
Spanish.
T after the F
Gift.
changes the changes the.
What's it even stand for?
It does
Does he
stand for
start
something.
it?
Just the F
It does
stand.
stand for
GIF
something.
or
Do you know what? Actually, if it stands, if it's like short for generated information
Yeah.
something, then maybe it is GIF.
Maybe.
I must say, I always had to say GIF.
Anyway, that's not important. But we.
Can I say
you know,
one more
we-
thing on Smith Rowe?
Yeah.
I think Arteta owes him a little bit. If you think back to when we played Chelsea away, and he started that game and we beat them, it kind of saved Arteta's job when we were in the mud.
Yeah.
I think he owes him. I think he owes him a chance. And
I hear it.
looks like tonight, if all these leaks and the number 10, he's getting it, and I hope he takes it.
Fair enough. Well, we're going to
I
find out.
personally would
in
have
7 minutes.
no objection him starting. It's just that I don't see him leaving Havertz out.
Well, we're going to find out. Texas says, for the love of God, win today. And then he says he wants to ruin the Klopp Fest on the weekend. I hear it, you know. Do you know what was making me laugh? Some of the tweets where they were saying, like... So I've been very, very respectful of Jurgen Klopp, because I just think this is a very rare moment where one of the legitimate greats has announced he's leaving. And you know what? You just got to take that day to go fair play and just take stock of what he's done, what he's achieved, and admire it. But I do want to crash on that Liverpool parade, and I do want it to, like, when I say end badly, I mean anywhere below us. You know, like, I want it because ultimately I don't care enough. Like, good on him, and I wish him all the best. Of course, hope he's in good health, and thank you for the Tottenham win in Madrid, and thank you for you know, for making a title race at times where it could have been City walking it every year and all that. But you know, I agree. Once we win tonight, and I hope we do, then I just all eyes on Liverpool, and I hope the Emirates is as loud for it and goes, listen, thanks. It's a bit like when Wenger was presented at Old Trafford with the golden trophy, whatever. You know, the final time, Fergie, Mourinho, we lost 2-1.
Bit anticlimactic.
No happy endings at the Emirates, please. But anyway, we will have the rest of that week to focus on that. Let's go over 5 minutes ago till it's officially confirmed the 11. Tanvi, the front three. Trossard
Yes.
played well,
He did.
but Martinelli came on and arguably played better.
Martinelli. I think overall, if you look at the standard of both of them at their best, it's no question for me, Martinelli should start. I agree, he's had a bit of a volatile season. I don't think he's always been at his best, but the way he played against Palace, I think he deserves to start. And I think he made a point by coming on off the bench and scoring those 2 goals. So I would want Martinelli to start today.
Cool. Martinelli gets your vote, Turkish.
Same.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I know people have said start him against Liverpool and give Trossard this one, Martinelli off the bench, you know, tiring legs and whatnot. And I get that. And if that is the case today, it could still very much work. But I do want Martinelli to start against Liverpool, and I think it's best for him to start today. Who would you like to start today, I wonder?
You know what, out of those, I know where you're going, but I'm not going to
it doesn't have to
entertain
be, it doesn't have to
BS.
be out of those two. Just throw in someone you like. Why not?
Random.
But you know what, I would actually go for Trossard, man. He scored in that game as well. I mean, listen, Martinelli, yes, he had the absolute correct impact, but we were 3-0 up when he come and scored those 2 late goals. One of them was very well assisted by somebody also playing that day. But anyway, we won't go into that. But Trossard, I think, has been treated a little unfairly this season, in my opinion.
I totally agree with you.
So, and he played well in that game. He got a goal. So listen, keep the same team. I'd love to see Martinelli come on. He's the perfect impact player. Speed, power, likes to go at the defenders. When the Forest defenders are tiring, I could think of no better person to come on and get run ragged via Martinelli. But I would start Trossard. The other thing I'll say is that it's interesting because he was a January signing, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. And, you know, we're about to go through this transfer window, probably not signing anyone. So he's a reminder that you can get good players in January. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, January, never any good for transfer. No, because we've got Aubameyang in January, we've got Trossard in January. So, But yeah, Trossard for me.
Fair enough. Abdullah says he's going for Trossard, Ødegaard and Rice as his midfield, so he would keep Trossard in the team, but in midfield. He says he's got a funny feeling that when Partey is back, he'll put him back at right back, as he thinks the initial midfield plan was Partey, Rice, Ødegaard and Kai Havertz in a diamond. Abdullah, we talked about it on AFTV and people have sort of laughed at it since because we were talking about what Jurgen Cruyff, can you believe it? Johan Cruyff. I'm thinking about Klopp too much. What Johan Cruyff's diamond 3-4-3 kind of looked like, and we were just asking the question whether Arteta was trying that. Problem is, Partey got injured so early in the season, we've not really had much of an opportunity to see that. I think it could be the plan, but then what happens with Gabriel has been brilliant and all that, so that is definitely part of it. Your front three?
Any combination of those, I don't mind. I don't think Trossard was particularly good against Palace. There was a big chance that he missed. I don't know if you remember. I think Jesus cut it across and he kind of scuffed it in the box. Sure. Also, there's the argument that Martinelli came on against when they were 3-0 down. I think they brought on a young right back as well, and he scored 2 late goals. So yeah, I don't mind. I think Martinelli is the better player and probably would be my choice. But if Trossard starts, I'm happy.
For me, when we did the predicted 11 at Forest, I said Martinelli on the left, Trossard false 9 and Saka, because I felt Trossard deserved to keep his place. What was that?
I remember you saying that.
Oh right, sorry, I thought you were correcting me. Yeah, what was it? Saka, Trossard, Martinelli. Because for me, if Jesus had these recurring injuries, that's 3 this season. The 4th is his long one from back last season. If he's been having these problems, I feel like 2 games in a week, maybe a push, even though he's been back for a while. And we should be rotating. We shouldn't be a case of, oh, he's fit, so let's definitely play him. Trossard's been in decent form. Marte was great off the bench. That would be the front three I'd go for, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair, you know. That's fair. I think
Martinelli, Trossard,
Martinelli, Saka.
Against Liverpool, I'd argue that Jesus is the most key out of the front line for us. He's the one that could potentially pull one of their centre backs out, turn one of them potentially, open up a bit of space in behind. So I wouldn't be against that, because again, I don't think Trossard up top means we potentially risk the game. I think we should still win the game.
But my argument, sorry Chris, why would you leave those guys? You've just won 5-0 at Palace. Surely those guys should keep their place, right?
Yeah. Sure.
You don't change a winning team that's just won 5-0, surely.
There's an argument that obviously Jesus, we won 5-0, but he didn't really produce in that game, and maybe with the knee injuries, he needs some rest here and there. Maybe we've got to start using him better.
No, I disagree. I think listen, if you win 5-0, then to me, the guys in that team, unless someone's played outstandingly badly, they should pretty much keep the same team.
But Martinelli scored 2 out of those 5 goals.
And
you could bring him on this game with 15-20 minutes ago.
You could argue Jesus was poor. He was
11's out.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry to cut you, but
I don't know.
Because it's interesting. It is Raya in goal, obviously. White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, the expected back 4. Rice, Ødegaard and Smith Rowe. So the rumours were correct.
Nice.
But the front three, Saka, Jesus and Martinelli. Martinelli is restored to the 11. And that, for me,
I'm happy, yeah.
Looks
very strong.
I feel like that actually is our strongest 11 right now. Given who we have available, not injured.
There is potential for that to be Arsenal's best 11. There's potential. I know we've talked about this a lot of times when it's been Havertz in that 3 or whatever. But obviously Timber to return. but we know what Zini brings on the ball. So one of the most technical 11s we could have put out there. We've gone with a Smith Rowe in there who wants the ball to feet, who wants to play, alongside Odegaard and Rice. And then that front three, listen, I'm not going to lie, I came here thinking, almost feeling like I need to shake off the 10 days that we haven't been playing. I've not had these pre-match nerves for a while. This has picked me up a bit. I want to see this team.
Yes.
I really want to see this team.
It's an exciting team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want Emil Smith Rowe to do well. I'm banking on him to take the opportunity.
It must be the rumours that were being circulated that he's been the mercurial beast in training. Then the managers looked at that and thought, yeah, man, he's prime.
Yeah.
Because as we said, Christian Havertz wasn't that good. Neither was Jesus. But Jesus keeps his place, right?
Jesus keeps his place, yeah.
Also, I started today not knowing if Rice and Gabriel were even going to play, so I think that's also been quite nice to see that they're both
big
well.
boost. The bench is Ramsdale, Cedric, Walters, Kivior, Jorginho, Havertz, Nelson, Trossard, and Nketiah. So look, some players who can come on and do something. But I don't know. I'm excited about that 11. That's an 11 I want to see. That's an 11 I don't think.
That is an 11 that should beat Forest. Let's be honest.
It should. We're going to get the Forest team up in just
Famous
a second.
last words,
Yeah, I
but
know. I'm not jinxing it.
I think
There is a potential banana skin because let's face it, Forest are a little bit resurgent since Nuno took over. They're at home. We know that when they're at home, they do play better. The crowd's behind them, and obviously, they're in danger of being dragged into a relegation fight. So they need a result today. I mean, if Forest get a draw today, they'd take that. Yeah. Whereas we have to win, pretty much. A draw today is almost like a loss.
Definitely an 11 that should beat Nottingham Forest.
Should be no.
I think it's a statement 11 as well. I think the easy thing to do when you're going away against an informed team, tough place to go. I think the easy thing to do would be to start Jorginho, Rice, Odegaard as the midfield three.
Safety.
But I like it. He's going for it.
I like that team. Let's go for the Forest team. By the way, I said something in the preview that it's just total lazy conversation. I was sort of talking about Nuno Espirito Santo and the back three plays with quite stubborn. He actually has played mainly a back four in his time at Forest. So suggests that he wants to play a little bit more. He tried that at Tottenham, obviously didn't really work as well, which we all enjoyed. But be interesting to see how it looks for Forest today. They got Matt Turner in goal, former Arsenal goalkeeper. Forest fans haven't been blown away.
I know a few Forest fans. To say they've not been impressed with Matt Turner is
simple.
Yeah,
an understatement.
They've not been impressed. They think they've been sold a dud.
No doubt he will be at his very best.
But as
today.
me and Christian were saying, the law of averages dictates that tonight he'll probably play a blinder.
Well, there you go. Right back, is it World Cup winning Montiel? Is that right? Did he?
He scored the winning.
He scored the winning penalty in the Premier League, eh? Centre back Murillo, who apparently has been doing really well with Omar Bamidele, if I pronounce that right as well, with Toffolo as well, Mangala, Danilo, Dominguez, Gibbs White, Williams, and Wood as well up top. We know Wood's rediscovered his form a little bit.
No Elanga.
No.
The bench is.
He's been out.
No Hudson-Odoi.
This graphic is really annoying because their link is covering the rest of these. So let me just try and make it out. Hennessy's there, Odysseus, Worrell, Awani, Aguilera,
Awani's
Yates,
on the bench, yeah?
Yep. Yates, Felipe and Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah, Langa, Hudson-Odoi.
One person that stands out for me in the Palace team is Gibbs White. He's had a really good season, actually.
Yeah, good player. I
So
really
they've got
like
a few players there that
he's been made captain
if the
recently
game's
as well,
tight, they can bring them on and try and stretch us. So
Isn't he captain today?
Who?
Gibbs White.
I'm not 100% sure, but
I think he's been made captain since Nuno took over because he played for Nuno before. So, they're definitely resurgent, Forest. Just remember when Steve Cooper in his final weeks, they couldn't buy a win. Now they've
they beat Man United very recently. Let's not.
And Newcastle.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting a tough game today, and I really
Newcastle
They've won
away.
2 out of their last 3 Premier League games.
Yeah.
So I don't want us to take that for granted.
It was a resilient. They're 1-0 down in that game.
Yeah.
Chris Wood scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, James, our record there is not good.
No.
So, and you know that the fans can
3 games
bang
without
up
a
for
win.
it.
3 games without a win there. Super chat from AFC Protagonist says, to be fair, Longer Arsenal career, Trossard or Smith Rowe? I think he's asking. Who will have a longer Arsenal career? Well, Smith Rowe's got about 2-3 years on him.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see how many minutes Smith Rowe's played in the last 3 years compared to Trossard's last year. But
I would
who
imagine
knows?
though, right, and I'm not trying to fuel any speculation here, that Trossard and his agent probably wouldn't be happy at the amount of minutes he's had at Arsenal since he's come. He's been, you have to remember, at Brighton he was ever present, wasn't he?
At
And I'm not
Brighton.
saying that he would, sorry?
Emphasis on Brighton.
Well, it was until he fell out of the team
Yeah,
a little
he
bit
did.
before we signed him. Listen, I don't know. The thing about Trossard is, I really like him, I really rate him, but I'm not looking at him going like, oh, it's a travesty he's not in this 11. So he's just in that cusp of players. Like, if he started today, I wouldn't feel much differently about the team, but I think there probably are better players out there right now. But big opportunity for Smith Rowe. I did a video on Smith Rowe where I was talking about how it feels like this is now or never for him. And I know that's really dramatic. A lot of people are like, really? And I was like, well, yeah, because you got to think, like, if you're not cementing your place in the team now, you've had injury problems, you've been around a long time, and you are one of the sellable assets. Arsenal aren't going, oh, FFP problems, well, let's sell Cedric. So that doesn't solve anything. But Smith Rowe is that kind of player that you might go, all right, well, really, it shouldn't affect Arsenal's trajectory to sell a Smith Rowe, but he might still pocket 40 million. And that is why I feel like he's got these 3, 4, 5 months to really prove it now. And I really hope he does, just because I think it's now or never for him. Doesn't mean I don't want him to. I just think that's unfortunately where we've come. So I'm really delighted he's playing, and I hope we see him play. I also just wanted to shout out Mo, who I mentioned. His X handle is Mo Arsenal 86, because he's just, in this world of ITKs, and people just talk such nonsense sometimes, he's bang on, and fair play, he's called this one again. All right, let's get score predictions in, and then we'll be back 15 minutes before kickoff to shake off the nerves before Arsenal get playing Premier League football again. Tanvi.
I'm going to go with 3-1. I think
Nice.
we might concede one just because of this curse, but I want us to break this curse and still win. So yeah, I think 3-1.
Okay.
She's watched my tapes.
I haven't actually. Did you say the same thing?
3-1, yeah.
All right, 2-3-1s. I'm sticking with my 1-0.
I'll go 2-0.
2-0.
1 goal swing. You've gone 1-0, I'll go 2-1.
Okay, fair enough. All right, everyone get your score predictions in as well. Did you all vote on the poll? Yo, we never did the GIF poll. That's coming. That is coming. But for what it's worth, 51% of people wanted Rice, Erdegaard, Smith Rowe as their starting midfield today, and you all got it, so good on you. Unless you came in and voted after the 11, then...
So what does that say about Havertz then? Does that suggest that
Says
maybe
he
the
was poor
manager
against
is
Palace.
running out of patience?
A little bit. We've already seen him
Talking about Havertz.
drop out the 11. It's not the first time.
He's had enough minutes. It's not like, at the beginning of the season, I hold my hands up and I was like, guys, we need to give him time. He's a new player. Like, he needs to blend with the team. But he's had his opportunities.
Oh, yeah,
and
I
he's not
agree.
delivered.
I agree.
So,
I agree, totally agree. Mr. Ciananas says 3-0 to the Arsenal, I think. PJ says a 2-1 win. Michael's going for 2-1. This guy says 5-0 Arsenal. Marco says 3-1, a Turkish classic. You laughed when people were saying that before Palace.
Did I?
Yeah, people were saying 4-5-0. You were going, no.
you'll
what are you
remember
talking
this.
about? 4-0 says Teddyman, 5-0 says Harry. Daniel says 3-1. So there you go. Everyone's
Listen, if we
feeling
get
confident.
5-0 today, I'll be laughing again, but...
Well, let's hope. Let's
Let's hope they're right and I'm wrong, man. But
Let's hope
I
we're
do
right.
see this as being a very... It's going to be hard fought. We're going to have to
Closer than
earn the
we
right to play in this game.
Yeah, I agree, totally. Everyone, hit the like button if you enjoyed this stream. Remember, we'll be live again 15 minutes before kickoff, and download the AFTV Plus app, because at full time you get to have your say by jumping on full time, that's the show, and on FANZONE to have your say after the game, win, lose or draw. Like I said, we'll be back 15 minutes before kickoff, chat a little bit more about the game, get your thoughts and comments throughout it all, reacting to every kick of a ball, and hoping that Arsenal bring back a precious 3 points and make it 2 wins in a row. It's just the Premier League and Champions League to focus on now. So, let's give it our all. All right, catch you in a bit.